Fiona Wykes from Heritage New Zealand. Kia ora, welcome.
Kia ora. Kia ora koutou, ko Fiona Wykes, tōku ingoa, ko Ote kaiwhakatahaere a Takiwa, Canterbury West Coast. For Heritage New Zealand, Pouhere Taonga, I am the area manager for Canterbury West Coast. Thank you for the opportunity to speak at this hearing today. As you probably all know, Heritage New Zealand Pouhere Taonga is an autonomous Crown entity with statutory responsibility under the Heritage New Zealand Pouhere Taonga Act 2014 for the identification, protection, preservation and conservation of New Zealand's historic and cultural heritage, and heritage is obviously the focus of this submission. Firstly, we acknowledge the challenge of preparing the LTP following the financial impacts of both the earthquakes and the COVID-19 pandemic. And in general, we support the proposed budgets that contribute to heritage protection throughout the plan and recognise that $57 million of total proposed spending is allocated for heritage projects. Our heritage at Taonga defines us. It is a fundamental part of the fabric of our community and contributes to people's personal sense of belonging and identity and anchors people to their communities and their city. We support the Council's acknowledgement that the buildings, places and stories of Christchurch and its people are part of the city's identity. Heritage New Zealand Pouhere Taonga supports the significant repair projects involving heritage buildings that will be undertaken in the first 3 years of the new plan. In particular, the Arts Centre, Te Matatiki Toi Ora, ongoing repairs, Robert McDougall Art Gallery strengthening and weather tightness, former municipal chambers repair and refurbishment, Canterbury Provincial Council buildings and Christchurch Cathedral. All of these buildings are listed Category 1 with us. There are 3 targeted rates proposed to support heritage, and we consider this may provide a clearer picture of the specific projects that ratepayers contribute to, and therefore could result in a greater feeling of ownership towards these projects. The 3 targeted rates relating to heritage are to fund the $10 million grant for the restoration of the cathedral, to fund a $5.5 million grant over 3 years to the Arts Centre of Christchurch, and to fund works for the Canterbury Provincial Council buildings, the former municipal chambers and the Robert McDougall Art Gallery. We support these initiatives as they help deliver the funding already pledged to the cathedral to assist with the ongoing functioning of the Arts Centre, which has been badly affected, first by the Canterbury earthquakes and then by COVID-19, and to start repairs on key heritage buildings for Christchurch, which are owned and or managed by council and have been deteriorating. Christchurch Cathedral is a very significant landmark in the city. It's closely linked to the development of Christchurch as a city following the arrival of Europeans. It is considered a key part of the wider area of Gothic revival architecture, which includes the Arts Centre, the Museum, Christ College and the Canterbury Provincial Council buildings. The building gives its name to a major feature of Cathedral Square, and its restoration is seen as a key part of the city's identity by many members of the Christchurch community. The Cathedral project is intended to be inclusive of the wider community whilst ensuring the building continues to be an active church, which is, of course, a key element of its history and significance. In relation to the Arts Centre, Te Matatiki Toi Ora, the targeted rate will assist the Arts Centre in continuing its ongoing repair and restoration work. It will ensure that the progress on these buildings can continue and the area can once more be a drawcard for both locals and visitors to Christchurch. It will enable it to fulfil its role as a viable and active part of the community. And the Canterbury Provincial Council buildings have been protected by legal statutes since 1928, and this was the first time that the New Zealand government passed legislation to protect an historic building, which gives you some idea of their importance. They are the only purpose-built provincial council buildings still extant in New Zealand, and they are nationally important complex. We support all efforts to restore them and provide for appropriate uses within the buildings. The targeted rates will also support the repair and refurbishment to the former municipal chambers, which is nationally significant as the first purpose-built premises for the use of the City Council. Plus, it's a prominent landmark in Christchurch on the banks of the river, as well as being striking for being designed in the Queen Anne style and therefore differing from all the Gothic revival buildings of other major public buildings at the time. We support the innovative and practical approach of Christchurch City Council to the restoration and adaptive reuse of this building. I will skip on quickly because I see I'm running out of time. Robert McDougall will be really good. It will be good to enable finding continued and more viable use for the building in the future because, again, it's highly significant. We do note that in the LTP there is no provision for ongoing heritage incentive grants, but we do see there is a proposal to commit approximately $200,000 to assist with the protection and recognition of intangible heritage and the Heritage Festival. So while this will impact on a small number of property owners, we are hopeful that the Intangible Heritage Programme can and will have a positive impact on the wider recognition and appreciation for heritage and what that means to everyone today. Heritage New Zealand Pouhere Taonga supports the proposed climate change response, and in particular working with Ngāi Tahu and Papatipu Runanga, businesses, organisations and the community to develop and action the Ōtautahi Christchurch climate change strategy and the adaptation planning for those impacted by sea level rise, the effects of rising groundwater and flooding issues. All these matters can significantly affect heritage sites. We would support additional incentives that could promote the protection and conservation of heritage. We support incentivising the retention and continued use, including adaptive reuse of heritage, through various mechanisms that are available to Council. Some may need to be addressed through the LTP due to financial implications such as rates relief, free or fixed price consenting or fast track consenting or a similar approach. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. Kia ora.
Thank you very much for an extensive submission, and thank you very much.
Barreling through it as fast as possible.
I know, but that's great. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Kia ora.
Just try to find it.